and welcome back to my channel. It's gorgeously sunny. We had the Easter break and now the kids, everyone's back to work and school, which means that the kitchen is quiet and the sun's shining. And I wanted to cook this recipe for a few days now. It's yogurt chickpeas and it's creamy without the cream. It's healthy because it's got no cream. It's yogurt and chickpeas. What's not to like? All the good stuff is in it. And the best part is that this is ready in less than 30 minutes. So this, my friends, is another 30-minute Indian meal. Hope you're going to enjoy it. I'm just starting my video with a coffee. There's a little bit of chopping to do of ginger garlic, and then we're going to go straight into the cooking and it'll be done before I could finish my coffee. So let's get cooking. Before that, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell button. I get comments like, oh, I haven't seen your video for quite some time. I'm thinking I post 3 videos a week, so I have no idea what they're talking about, because clearly they have not turned the notification on, because then you get a message as soon as I post a new video, which is fixed on Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and things I might throw in between. So yeah, let's get cooking. So like I said, start with chopping ginger and garlic, and I'm going to use lots of ginger and garlic as always. So nice 4 fat cloves. If they're smaller, you can use more, and if you're not fond of it, a bit less, but this is how much I'm going to use. So I'm going to chop these up finely. So that's the garlic done, and I'm also going to take a nice big chunk, not that's too big, 1-inch piece of ginger, and I'm going to chop it finely along with the garlic. So once the ginger garlic is prepped, I'm going to move on to the tomatoes. So I'm going to just again finely chop 4 medium-sized tomatoes. So now we've got everything prepped, it's time to start cooking. So nice hot pan, and I'm going to start with just 2 tablespoons of oil. So once your oil is hot, I'm going to add a teaspoon of cumin seeds, let them sizzle. And I have got here a couple of green chilies. You don't have to use it. I'm just going to slit them up so they don't kind of pop open in the heat. Just give it a second. And then I'm going to add the ginger and the garlic and let that cook for maybe a minute. And when it's had a minute or two just to kind of cook out, I'm going to add the tomatoes. I'm going to give this a good 10 minutes because I want them completely softened. So I'm going to reduce the heat and give this nice 10 minutes. And in that time, I will tell you how to prepare the yogurt. While the tomatoes are bubbling away, I have got here a bowl of 300 grams of natural yogurt, and I'm going to add some lovely spices to this. So we have a teaspoon of turmeric, teaspoon of red chili powder, also a teaspoon of ground cumin, a teaspoon of salt, tablespoon of kasuri methi from dried fenugreek leaves, now we give it a good mix. And I think the tomatoes are done as well. I told you the light in the kitchen is glorious, and that is my curry leaf plant. I'm just showing off now. Look at that. So the tomatoes are completely softened up, fully mushy, and I am going to add, first of all, I'm going to turn the heat off, right? So the heat is off, and I'm going to add 100 ml of water just to calm it down, cool it down a little bit. And once it's at this stage, I'm going to add the yogurt to this. And if you need a little splash of water. The heat is still off. I'm careful with the yogurt when cooking with the yogurt because you don't want to split the yogurt. But I have cooked many a times when the yogurt is split, and trust me, I don't care, to be honest. Till the time it tastes good, it doesn't really matter. And sometimes, as much as you try, the yogurt does split, and sometimes it doesn't. So it's just, I know you have to reduce the heat, and I'm always careful with that step. But yeah, so once it's all mixed up, I'm going to turn the heat back on to really low and just get the yogurt to warm up slowly, and that does help stopping it from splitting. Once you can see the steam coming out, which means the yogurt has properly heated up, I'm gonna still cook it on low heat, cover with the lid for 10 minutes. And for the chickpeas, you can soak the chickpeas just enough for 4 people overnight, like I've done in the chole recipe. You can check out the video of how I do cook the chickpeas, dry chickpeas, soaked overnight, next day. Sometimes do it in pressure cooker. There are recipes where I've cooked. Recently I did the hummus recipe. Actually it was a meze recipe, and I cooked it in a pan, and because it was really overnight soaking and it had had lots of time, and I added a bit of bicarb, it really only took 30 minutes in a pan, and it was literally falling apart. So I would suggest that you use overnight soaked chickpeas in this. Tin chickpeas are also fine. Tin chickpeas are just a bit harder. If you've used overnight chickpeas, you'll know the difference between the two. That's a lot of chat about overnight soaking chickpeas. Right, so this is nice and warm, hot actually. I'm gonna cover with the lid and let this cook for 10 minutes, and I'll show you the chickpeas I am going to use. So I'm just using these jar chickpeas, which are like really big and juicy, and you can get jar chickpeas usually in Middle Eastern shops, or if you are lucky to live in a place where you have lots of different cuisines and shops, then you can find that. This is actually whole bean company that I love using if I am using some tin chickpeas. I've started using these because they are nice and big. So this drained weight is 400 grams, which is perfect for 4 of us. So I'm just going to drain this, and actually I might just use the liquid as well, but I don't want it very runny. I'm going to drain it. Actually that one jar didn't look quite enough, so I'm going to add one more. So that will be enough actually for some people, but I think we're such chickpea fans. And if there's any leftover, it'll obviously go in the lunchbox tomorrow. So that looks like a good amount for the curry. So I've only cooked this for 5 minutes. It has split after all a little bit. Not too bad, but it has split a little bit. I told you beforehand, it could, it couldn't, but that's fine. After 5 minutes, I'm adding the chickpeas, and now I'm gonna cook this for a good 10 minutes. I'm gonna put the lid on and let it kind of simmer in the spices. Let's put a lid on. See you in 10. So I have cooked this for 5 minutes, and I'm just going to add one more thing to this for the last 5 minutes of the dish. Oh, look at that. So for the very last ingredient, I've got a couple of smallish red onions, and I am just literally cutting into thin rings. Just gonna make sure I open the rings. And add homemade 1 teaspoon of garam masala. Now give it a real good mix and cook it for the very last 5 minutes. I just want the onions to remain crunchy but not too crunchy, just soften up very slightly. And in that time, I'm going to chop up some coriander leaves. I can't tell you how amazing this smells. I would serve this with lacha paratha or just plain paratha or chapati or naan. Basically what I'm trying to say is this will go best with some flatbreads. This doesn't mean that it will not be nice with rice, like a nice cumin pulao or... Look at that. I'm so hungry. It's so hot, as always. Just cooked in 30 minutes. No excuses for you guys to not make it. Just want to scoop it up with something. Make a nice raita with it if you want. It doesn't need any crunchy salad because the onions are still crunchy. I hope you'll give this a go. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, and I will see you back here with another new recipe very soon. I have a very strong feeling that you guys will love this. By the way, this is not all my portion. I will share.